Welcome back. It's been 24 hours since I last opened my Anubias. So I was quite concerned about my yellowing Anubias, so I decided to take the Anubias out of the rhizomes the next evening. And you see right here now, I'm removing the rock wool, which is a little bit difficult to do. Therefore, I started just by ripping it out with my fingers. And then with the use of a tweezer, I'm able to remove some dead debris or some rock wool. And basically, I go through the two plants, and this is what I'm left with. In one of the potted plants, I actually end up having three rhizomes. That's a pretty good start. In the next potted plant, I was able to count five plants or five separate rhizomes. So you can see here that I'm using a toothpick to get rid of the stubborn rock wool that's clinging onto the roots. The first four looked relatively okay. It was mainly the last one that had the yellowing leaves that had me most concerned. You'll see what I'm talking about once I inspect it a little bit more closely. My concern was that I've seen this issue before with a couple of my Anubias that I've previously purchased. If you look at the rhizome, it's actually quite soft. Using a toothpick, I was able to kind of poke at it and it really didn't hold its structure. So I immediately took action and separated that portion of rhizome that most likely won't survive. So I separated that, and then in the end, we see here there's four relatively nice Anubias Stardust. I'm going to manage the fifth piece separately. So this part was the back end of the rhizome that didn't have the rot. I'm actually planting it on the side so I could manage it for a little bit more closely, and we'll get to the other one that had the rhizome rot. So actually, I'm going to put it back into the container. So I want to manage this from afar. So coming back to that piece of rhizome that I cut off, you see that there's one new leaf. That small little leaf over there. That's actually a new plantlet. I'm not sure whether it's going to be able to survive, but we're going to see what I could do with that. And on the backside, if you turn around, you see the rhizome rod. The rhizome is like pretty much brown and soft at this point. So the first thing I try to do to save this piece of rhizome, or at least a small plantlet, would be to dry out the rhizome as much as possible. So I'm actually going to plant it in soil. I'll give it a little bit of spray since the soil is completely dry, and we'll see how it is able to progress in the next few days. I'm not too hopeful at this moment, but at least it's something that I'm going to try to do. And at the same time, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the other 8 pieces of rhizomes that I have removed from the rock wall. That's it for now. I'll keep a closer eye in the following couple of days to see how the rest of the plants survive.